I watched Joan Jett video the other day of her doing a version of Dirty Deeds done dirt cheap. And it's pretty fun. She looks great in it. It could have been a little heavier. It was a little too polished, but
was it newer or older? I know that sounds like an odd question.
It's been around a while. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I watched the whole Runaways movie, and then that led into the Joan Jett documentary. So it was a two-parter.
You had a full day then.
It was. If you haven't seen the Runaways,
no,
have you?
I haven't had a moment to sit and do it.
Have you seen the Joan Jett documentary?
Nope.
Disappointed.
Yeah, I haven't finished the book I was given last summer either.
It's okay.
It's all right. I really like my days. I enjoy them.
What are you doing?
I fill them with things that nothing comes out of them.
You fill them with empty moments?
Yeah, I really do. If you had pockets of empty moments, if you can imagine that, that's what my day is filled with.
Pinball Jeff has this weird thing. It's not really weird, but it'll sound weird because none of us do it besides him. Mm-hmm. He makes a list every day. And then he crosses it off his list. But every day.
Mm-hmm. Mine's on my desk.
But do you make a new one every day? Because he gets...
Oh, no, because I get 3 things out of 10 crossed off.
He gets it all crossed off.
Good for him.
This is because he only makes not everything he has to do. Everything he's going to do that day.
Okay.
But if you were to take his list away from him, he would wander aimlessly about the planet like the guy from Kung Fu, like Karate Kwai Chang Kang, while just wandering aimlessly, just a blind Chinaman, just wandering the earth.
We are a list house, but Mike is also really good at just crossing that list off and getting things done.
I'm not really a list maker. You may have noticed.
When I've got too much scribbled, that's when I make a new list.
I need to make a list. I could get things done, and I intend to do things. Sometimes I sit on my couch and I think, those are the things I need to do. And then I think, I wonder what the pond looks like. And I drive out there. And then I think to myself, I wonder if the deer have enough corn and peanuts. And is the ratio peanuts to corn correct for the wintertime? So then I go out and I check that. And then I refill the deer feeder. And I go to Menards. I walk around. And then I buy a flashlight I didn't really need. And then, I go, oh, my goodness, there's chocolate-covered peanuts or whatever. I'm like, I better have some of those. And then I stop. I look in the Menards freezer where they talk about the barbecued ribs, which for whatever reason are really good.
Okay, I had no idea they had them.
No, neither did I until someone turned me on to them. I'm just telling you my day-to-day. So then I'll leave the Menards. Perhaps I'll go over to Frontier Justice and look at guns.
Gotcha.
So I'll leave
right
there.
Across the street. Why not?
Right.
I'm already out.
What if then I wonder what the price might be over at Bass Pro, which is just across the street from that.
Good point.
So then you have to go look at more guns. And I'm like, oh my goodness, a boat. I've never had a boat. I should look at boats.
What's the going price of a boat these days?
Yeah, so you go walk around boats. A guy walks up and he immediately realizes, I'm not buying a boat.
How did he realize, John? Was it looking at your face?
Yes. I'd say that. Yes. There's a picture of a guy who never buys a boat, and that's Mike. It's like, I go to boat shows. I've told you about this, right?
Yes, we both have talked about going to a boat show.
Everyone's addicted to me. And I know why. Because I'm not going to buy a boat. I just want to look at your stupid boats.
Right, which you'd have to figure when holding a boat show that there's going to be a collection of people just want to do that. They're not going to buy it from you that day.
Hence why they sell tickets.
Yeah.
I had to pay to get in here. But those dudes who sell boats look at me and they're like, you're not buying a boat. They're like, and they're just, You
don't know what I do with my day.
Yeah, they am not buying a boat. And mostly not because I don't think the idea of owning a boat sounds neat. The idea of floating on top of water for however I want to, it sounds nice, right? But then you meet boat people. Boat people, I used to think I didn't like Corvettes. I do like Corvettes. I don't like Corvette people. That's my problem.
Gotcha.
I like boats too. I don't like boat people. Boat people are at marinas. Boat people are where boat people have boats go. I don't want to hang out with those people.
I hate being on the boat, and either someone thinks they need to get on your boat, or my husband just won't skip a cove to where we have to pick everybody up on a boat because they all have their own boats. And I'm like, can we just sometimes just have us on a boat? So I don't have to have other people talking to us on the boat. And I love all of them.
I got
Good
you.
people, but I mean, every once in a while, act like you can't see that far.
I feel certain ways. I don't need a boat. I need a friend with a boat. I want to go out one day a year.
Sure.
That's it. When I tell you one day a year, that's really all I want to do.
It makes sense.
We've been planning on doing the Missouri River run. Chad Klein has a cool boat, and he's run the Missouri River. He grew up on the Missouri up in Atchison, so he knows how to navigate it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, we should do a river run one day. Like, let's get on your boat with a bunch of beer. Well, of course, the captain will be sober, whatever.
Given.
And I'm not the captain, so I'm going to be rotted. And let's go out and explore the river, man. Let's go out and do stuff.
People want you to see your town and your state.
Listen, we screw around. Let me do a quick commercial for boats on the river. The Missouri River is awesome. People are all afraid of it. And we grew up being told how bad it was. But everywhere above and below Kansas City, people swim, live, build marinas. They have cities on the water.
Isn't it crazy? In my mind, I can't wrap my head around those.
Everywhere. I rode that jet ski from here to St. Louis in one day. And I'm literally going by towns I didn't know were on the river. And people are out there in their boats, and they're waving as you go by, and they're having barbecues, and there's dogs running around, and you're just looking. I'm like, don't you know I'm on the most dangerous navigable water?
Right.
That way, in America, I'm on a river. You die on rivers.
We have been taught
don't go
all
near,
the bad here in Kansas City if you get near the river.
It'll suck you under.
Right.
Yeah. It's not really true. It isn't. It just isn't. Yes, it's flowing. Yes, there's stuff in it. But people live, fish, work, barges, everything.
It sounds like you're talking crazy town.
All of us, say from St. Louis to St. Joe, Kansas City, were what? Built on the river, because that was the great interstate of the world at the time.
Yeah, you either think
I don't know
hookers
why.
or debris or whatever it is you think about being afraid of the river. Here in town, it's a here in town thing. You're absolutely right.
I really do. I've looked for land. If I could win like lottery money, I would build on the river, more so than a lake. I would love nothing more than to have waterfront property somehow that you could figure out how not to get flooded, whatever, on the high side
Never
of a
even thought
river
about it.
and live on the river every day. I've wanted to since I was a little kid. I think it was Huckleberry Finn and his damn friend Jim.
So how hard is it to, do they have their boats ready to go, or do they take them in and out? How does it work with? Because I know some of your friends are around there all the time.
No, their boats are all at their house. Yeah, nobody. I don't know
Who is it that I'm
anybody
thinking of?
Nobody
Klaus.
I know leaves their boat on the river.
Does Klaus work on things?
He works on the river. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's why I asked that, saying it may not be their personal
vessel.
vessel.
Let me rephrase that. Mike doesn't work. He has people who work under him.
Sure.
Well, Mike, at best, does 6 to 8 minutes of actual work a day.
Got it.
Mostly stretch around with his hands in his pockets, saying things.
And his adorable large head.
Sure, like a Macy's balloon, like a Macy's Thanksgiving Day balloon. The Klaus comes walking down. They can see it coming. Kids cheer.
Oh, yeah. Here it comes.
Yeah, here comes Big Head Boy.
I just wondered, obviously not a personal vessel, but if his work was right there.
Yeah, no, he has a great job on the river. All those guys commercially, they get sand out of it, they dredge it, they send giant. Even on the call, you see big ones coming up, and when it's higher.
I just never go down there.
See what you
I could be losing time during the day driving over there.
That's right. Doing
just
more
as productive.
meaningless things like I've just told you.
My husband will say, what do you do? Where are you going during the day? I go, you can track me. I can kill time like nobody's business.
I want to buy a flat bottom John boat with a decent motor. I want to buy the cheapest one I can that'll float for real with some decent seats so I can throw the dog in it and drive from my house where you can put in on the call, and when it's got to be fairly decent boat because it gets real shallow. It has to be a good flat bottom boat you can get through, or pull up and drag across something, and then you can go up to Lawrence where the dam is and eat up on Mass, and then come right back again. Like I could do that and be pretty damn happy, to be honest with you.
You'd think someone would run us this idea and this option.
Oh, no, I'm just the other turd that wants to do it. No, it can be done. It's stupid. It's dangerous. There's a lot of sandbars.
Yeah,
you got to be able to drag your boat over something, because unless it's ultra high water, you are going to put your engine up and haul your boat over a sandbar and get back into water again. But it's fun, man. It really is. Like, they canoe it all the time. I love that business.
Never done it.
I love the river. It's true. You learn something new every day. Have you ever been on the river? No, it's too scary. I'm from St. Joe.
Even though I lived next to the river my whole life.
Yeah, you never boat on it?
No.
I almost got killed multiple times on the river. I got this scar right here. That was my 22 stitches between the eyes on the Missouri River.
Celebrating birthdays today. Law & Order SVU star Mariska Hargitay is 60. Hero pilot Chelsea Sully Sullenberg, 71. And tomorrow, Neil Diamond turns 83.
Singer Neil Diamond had 10 #1 hits over the course of his career and wrote some of the most enduring songs of all time. That being said, we can thank drunk-ass white people everywhere for forever ruining his song, Sweet Caroline. Happy birthday to Neil Diamond. And you know what I'm talking about, too. Sweet Caroline. Bye, bye, bye. Good times never seem so good.
No, I hate that, too.
Fuck off.
Yeah. But, Gregory, I don't know if you're like me. I get ate up by America. Remember that and the jazz singer? They're coming to him. You don't remember this song?
Yeah.
I was a little kid. I still love this song. And even though people have ruined Neil Diamond in so many ways, there's still some fantastic Neil Diamond songs out there.
That is what stinks.
Yeah. Now, Greg, agree or no?
I totally agree. I love Neil Diamond.
Yeah. And dude, America?
I still mostly love Sweet Caroline, except for when there's drunk-ass white people around.
Yeah, no, I get the look. Artie will always look at me because he knows of how I've been drinking. If all of a sudden over the jukebox, the 403 Neil Diamond's America comes on. Yeah, there's about 6 people that go, God damn it, John.
And you're over
Really?
the corner, on the boat, set on the plane. Welcome to America.
Hey, Dave Coulier, friend of the show, on the hotline right now.
Mr. Coulier. I was thinking about him a lot lately, actually. I've been following him on Instagram, and he was going through the same freezing nightmare that we were, man. I think he was getting his pipes wrapped. Take that as you will.
Born September 21st in St. Clair Shores, Michigan, he took his start doing impressions of his teachers in high school to becoming one of the most sought-after voice artists in the country. He's best known for his work as Joey on the long-running series, Full House. You've seen him on the VH1 reality series, The Surreal Life, and on the Netflix series, Fuller House. And now you can hear him every week on his podcast, Full House Rewind. Please welcome longtime friend of the show, Dave Coulier.
Mr. Coulier. I was thinking about you a lot lately.
Well, that's nice. Thank you.
Yeah, well,
How are you, buddy?
I was good, man. I'd sent you a text, and I was in New Orleans, and it was right before, it was late December, it was early January, and I turned a corner, and I looked, and there was a candle, like a saint candle of Bob Saget. And I was like, oh, man, look at that. And I'd sent you a picture of it. I was just like, it just struck me. I was like, well, of course that is. I almost bought it just to take it to my house because I think it would have made him laugh.
And that's so nice. Yeah, those scented Bob Saget candles, they're a real, they really flooded the market, man.
But it just had him as a saint, and it made me laugh. It's funny how I was talking to somebody the other day. There's probably nobody else in my life who's passed that, for whatever reason, conversation, moments, everything that you intake from the social media to television to friendships, he comes up more than anybody else that we've lost.
It's amazing the void that he's left in a lot of people's lives because me, Amos, Andrea Barber, Candace Cameron, Jody Sweeten, we got on Instagram and we did a live and we just reminisced about Bob. And one of the things that kept coming up was, we're still talking about him, which Bob would love because there was no one more self-involved than Bob. And so I said, this is the greatest gift that we could ever have given Bob is that we're still talking about him and how much he connected us. And he was the connective tissue between so many people. And the thing I miss most about Bob is that we had so many stupid bits that I could only do with him. So every time, right around the Christmas holidays, he would call and sing me filthy Christmas songs. But it was always in a falsetto voice. So he would be, I'm going to try and do this clean on your show. He goes, So, and he would just keep going for like 5 minutes. So I'd have a voicemail, and I would have to excuse myself if I was at a dinner. So, hey, listen, this is from Bob, so it's going to take me 5 to 10 minutes to listen to it. But that's what I miss is that I'll be driving around in my truck here in Detroit, and I'll just get this stupid flash of a memory with Bob, and I'd be like, oh, I can't call him,
Yeah.
But that's the part that I love is that he gave me that for the rest of my life. I will think of all that stupid crap that I could only do with him.
Yeah. No, I was afraid that somehow my phone would erase old texts. I went back and I screenshotted as many old text conversations as I could, just because they're so absurd and they make me laugh. Because, there would be some stuff that it got real weird, real dark, and real dirty real fast. And you were like, oh my God, dude.
Oh, that was Bob.
Yeah.
That was Bob. I mean, in between Bob and I, we lost 3 sisters total, and so Bob came out, and it all happened during the course of Full House and a little bit after. So Bob comes up to me one day, he goes, hey, you want to start a Dead Sister Club?
It's so bad.
Look at him, and I started laughing. He goes, so far I'm winning because he lost 2 sisters. He goes, I bet you can't beat me. He goes, how many more you got left? And I go, 2. He goes, oh man, you could beat me.
Dude, that was his steam, right? That was his valve. When it got super bad and it hurt, he would just say something so horrendous that you were like, oh my, that just came out, didn't it?
Yeah, because during those dark times, sometimes laughter is the only thing that pulls us out of the darkness.
Without a doubt.
In fact, I was at Bob's sister. He had a sister named Gay, and when she passed away, I go to the funeral. Bob sees me pull up in the parking lot. He runs out to my car. I roll my window down. He goes, you got to hurry up. And I go, why? What's wrong? He goes, no, I want to show you a dead body.
It's so terrible. It's so bad. Oh.
And I couldn't help but just laugh, And then I'm sitting there. It's all through the funeral, just like laughing to myself, But that's who he was, and I miss him dearly, and so many people can say the same thing.
Yeah, no, it was, I've told you, I'm just so lucky to have known him in any capacity because, I got to meet you, and then we became friends, and Bob and I, and all that, and so to be included in any way, like to watch you guys, to watch the love of the friendship, with Stamos and you and Bob, and that was real brotherhood. I mean, otherwise you would never put your penis through a picture of another man's face,
Yeah, but who doesn't do that? Come on. That's a very common thing.
Dude, I have one friend who I kicked open the bathroom door on a motorcycle trip, and I just took a picture of him in the shower, and he did this like Supergirl thing where one leg goes over the other, and he covered up his own chest. I have no idea why. But his little ding dong is hanging out, and it's just not a good day for him. It's not a good angle. It's not good warm water. It's just not. And to this day, I have sent him cards, photographs. I had a blanket made from Things Remembered and sent to him. When he won't go on the motorcycle trips with us, I take one phone with that picture, and I show it to strangers, and I take another phone, and I videotape the reaction to his penis, and then I send it to him.
If you can't make fun of another guy's junk, why are we here?
Oh, and show strangers, your friends, and he runs 8 radio stations in Albuquerque, so he's horrified by this. It just, but I love him. I love him so much, and those are the weird, those are the jokes between friends. The stuff that is it's so good, man, so good.
Yeah, I skate with the Red Wings alumni up here in Detroit, and there was a guy named Sean Burr, and he passed away several years ago, but he was a former Red Wing, and he was so funny. So the first time I skate with the Red Wings alumni up here, I go to take a shower after our game, and he looks at me in front of everybody in the locker room. He goes, "Hey, guys, stop staring. He knows how small it is."
Oh my God, it's brutal.
And then he just wouldn't stop. He kept hammering me. He goes, "Well, you're going to be first guy out of the shower." I go, "Why?" He goes, "Well, you don't have much to wash."
Oh my God. Oh, it's so bad. And but those are the friendships, man. Those are the things it's just, it's funny that other people may not even get it from the outside, right? Like those ball busts, there's stuff we'll say to each other. When you really love somebody and you're that close, there's balls that can be busted. They're so brutal and so gnarly and so off limits. I mean, there's some dark stuff that happens, but that's how you know how close you are.
Yeah, absolutely. And during COVID, I wasn't seeing my buddies. I didn't have that release, of going to play and hanging out with the guys and stuff.
Yeah.
So I was trying to do it with my wife, and it just didn't work. Didn't work. The physical jokes didn't work. She's like, sometimes you're just mean. And I'm like, no, she goes, you need to be with your friends because.
Dude, the same thing has happened with me and my girl. Like I'll forget and I'll get used to busting balls, and you do it out of love. I know exactly what you're saying, and I'll look. I'm like, That didn't work. That didn't hit the way I thought it would. And she's like, that's just mean. Yeah. You're like, no, I don't mean it like that at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. And definitely.
She would say simple stuff like, gee, I have to take a shower. And I'm like, I'll say.
Right, yeah.
And she's like, what is that supposed to mean? I'm like, no, that's a joke. I'm just like, And she's like, that I don't find that stuff that funny.
Well, then I double down. I'll be like, I'm just kidding. Or am I, funky butt? I'm just saying. Like,
you walked by and I caught a little whiff.
Yeah, you want me to tell you? You want others to tell you? I feel like I should be the one to tell you. I'm just kidding. And she's like, are you? Maybe. I think I am. I was irritating her. There's multiple ways we would irritate our friends, girlfriends. One of the ways is no matter what they were saying, I would say I had done that too. So if they said, I was at Dairy Queen today, I go, get out of here. I was too. And they're like, really? I'm like, no. And just derail their story no matter what was happening. And it was just terrible. It was not funny at all, but I was amused to no end. And those are the stupid things, that, especially during COVID. And then you guys were building your house. So
yeah,
I wondered how you were going to do with that as well. Because for real, David, if you're just joining the show, the great Dave Coulier, and we got a lot to talk about. Full House Rewind. We got to talk about everything that's happening on the podcast. But I also want to find out about you guys were in your house together. You're building a house, which is incredibly stressful. You are doing it yourself. You're not just hiring guys. You're in the middle of it all. And you decided you're going to get on the bench for a while and get not drink. So all of those things happening, that's a lot to take on, man.
It was a lot. We had a tough winter out here last year to try and build, and we're on Lake St. Clair, so we're kind of battling the elements.
Yeah.
And it was really rainy and awful last winter. So we got our foundation in. Everything was great. And then the weather hit, the wet, cold weather, and we went into rough framing. So we were rough framing through, torrential downpours, and it was just awful. We got machines stuck. We got the big Skylift machines. We got one stuck. And then we had to get a second one in here. That one got stuck. Then we had to get a dozer to drag both of them out. It was such a mess. So it was that. It was, the being sober part, that's I'm totally cool with that. I still love booze. It just doesn't love me back.
Yeah, so that's what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's the old joke, right? We're only allowed so many drinks in our life, and if we use them up too fast, well, that's how it works.
That's pretty much it. Yep. Yeah. So, so there was a lot going on, and for 17 months I worked on this house, and I went to contractor school, and I wanted to learn about how do you do this, but contractor school doesn't teach you how to build a house. It tells you like, when you have employees, these are the OSHA requirements.
Right.
I'm like, I don't want to know that stuff. I want to know, like, where does this joist go, And
it's a hard test to pass, by the way. I know guys that take it 3 times.
Yeah. It's like the bar exam for guys missing a finger.
Yes, it is. So what did I say? Are you in the house now?
Yeah, we moved in on Halloween.
Excellent.
And,
man.
We're still unpacking boxes. I can't believe all the crap we've accumulated.
Oh.
It's like I had like a whole box of shirts, and my wife's like, why do you have all these shirts? I'm like, well, that one's in case I paint the garage someday. And that one's if I'm changing oil on the tractor.
Yep.
She's like, just get rid of them. I'm like, okay. You're gonna ruin a shirt though if I ever do that stuff.
But how do you feel? Because I've got that 30 acres disgrace land, and I don't know if I'll ever have the right money or feel like it's the right time to do it. But I always dream about being able to build my own house, design it, build it. It doesn't have to be anything unbelievable, but I wanna be there when the foundation goes in. I wanna build and rough in with the guys. I want to learn how electrical is run. I want to go through all that so that I can stand there one day and go, man, I did this. Like, this really was me. I worked for, in construction for years before radio and did rough in, but never for myself. And it's got to feel like really great, man.
It does, but then where all the bodies are buried.
Yeah.
You know where every mistake was made, because you make tons of mistakes along the way. And talking with other builders, they're like, oh, man, there's so many mistakes just because there's human error along the way. you know, and it's really tough to find trades people now. It's tough to find, you know, contractors who show up on time or show up at all. I had people ghost me, you know, people that just, you know, would do something wrong and then all of a sudden they would just quit.
That's exactly what I've been afraid of, Dave, because, and you're Dave Coulier. Like, you know, dude, listen, for lack of a better term, you might be America's sweetheart right after, you know, that other lady. And after Tiffany, after Taylor Swift.
Well, thank you.
But if they don't show up for you, man, and you're a good guy, you get in there and pitch in. You're a nice man. I've known you a long time. Like, you're not a mean guy. I wouldn't push you, but I know you enough to know that you're a kind human being. So that's the other thing. I think, man, I don't want to have to deal with subs and run through all that.
It's tough, you know. The world has changed, and you know, after COVID, there's a different mentality now, and it is really it's several layers deep, and I really found that out through building this house for 17 months. So I ended up doing a lot of stuff myself.
Sure.
So if there was, you know, I needed cement that would, you know, the concrete foundation cut to, you know, to fit a certain door well, I would just get a concrete saw and get in there and cut it myself, you know, because I knew no one was showing up.
That's right. And cutting concrete sucks. Awful.
It does. It gets awful everywhere. It's dusty, and it's just it's an awful job. Did you find, I had to do that.
I'm sorry. I was going to say, did you find yourself doing your act for the guys when you're out there working with them? Did you start finding yourself doing all the voices, all the Muppets, all of the different ones?
You know, those voices don't translate in Spanish, apparently.
They could. You know? They could. That's an untapped market, my friend.
You know, I had most of the guys on the framing crew, you know, spoke Spanish, but then there was one guy in English, and he would translate, and he would come up to me and go, "The guys don't know Bullwinkle." Oh, okay. Okay. Sounds great.
Yeah, Pinky in the brain. It's lost a little. It's just lost.
Yeah. Your Pee Wee Herman impression just fell flat.
Man, I tell you, it's so. Listen, the Full House Rewind, the podcast, available now, of course, everywhere. How's it going for you? You still enjoying it?
It's great. You know, we started off, and we write the shows like a TV show, and we shoot it like a TV show. We've got 5 cameras in a studio, and so we wanted to make it very visual so people could watch it. And I wrote all the episodes in a vacuum, so we really didn't know what our audience wanted. So we shot our first 10 episodes, and then we were like, well, let's hang back and see what the response is. So now we're collecting all of that data. We found out what the fans really want. So in the second half of the season, which we're going to shoot starting next week, we're making big changes to the show. Because we came out just, you know, flying high, huge ratings. And then SAG asked us if we would stand down for the actors' strike. Because Full House is what they consider a struck show.
Right.
So we really wanted to be on the right side of history. So me and my producing partner said, look, let's stand down. We're going to lose all this momentum. But we did. We sided with the Screen Actors Guild, and we shut down for several months. So we lost a lot of our viewers and listeners. So now we're ramping back up.
That's tough.
And we're changing the dynamics of the show. We're streamlining it. We're writing it a little bit differently for the second half. But the response has been amazing. But it's always funny, and you know this too, Johnny. There's always those haters that just come and throw a turd in the punch bowl.
You can't. You just can't. I don't even. I'm so numb to it now. I'm like, whatever. I honestly, I was like, you can't hurt me. I held the drop light for Bill Caprofoli. Okay, like there's nothing you can say to me.
You know, and it's just like, how can you be cynical and hateful about Full House.
Oh, dude, they can hate puppies. I'm telling you, there's literally nothing. I'm always stunned by the comments. I look and I go, wow, they actually found a way to hate on something. Some of the stuff that's so pure and good and well intentioned, and you just anymore. I can't be bothered with it. What I get mostly bothered by, if you insult me, make it a good one. And for God damn it, spell correctly. Looser doesn't have 2 O's. I'm a loser, not a looser.
Yeah, spelling drives me crazy. You know what drives me crazy is when you're watching the news and there's a crawl on the bottom of the screen, and it's a news service and there's spelling errors.
Yes.
I'm like, okay. Yeah. Who did they hire? I can't spell.
But you guys,
that's insane.
You put so much work into this, and that's why I asked you about if you were still enjoying the podcast, because everybody in the world, it feels to me that anybody can do one now, right? And they just get a couple mics and they link in and they put it up and it just goes out there. And you guys raised the bar on it. Like what you do and what you've done with it is I haven't seen in others, and that's why I was asking. I mean, you guys. That's a lot of scripting, a lot of work, a lot of visuals, a lot of thought-out production on it.
There is, and I've never watched these episodes, so for me, it's very eye-opening. I've laughed. I thought, because I always have a certain reverence of the show in my mind. Right. But it's the days we were shooting and production and the behind-the-scenes stuff. But to see it, on television now and to be watching these episodes, it's brought back so many things that I forgot about.
Right.
Just how great the kids were.
Yeah.
The kids were so funny, especially Jodie Sweetin. I mean, to be 5 years old and just nailing lines is incredible. And so, Full House, is like a big video hug. It's like video comfort food. And I understand it now.
Yeah, and I'll tell you the thing I love is coming up through radio, and you would meet people who had TV shows, and they could never in their hearts get past it. Like, Jimmy Walker for a long time, he's much better now, but Jimmy was super hateful about Good Times, which, of course, everybody wanted to talk about. Or you'd meet, any Screech, or you could meet anybody, and they'd be they didn't want to talk about it anymore. And you guys have always embraced Full House because you knew, listen, you've all had great careers. You've one of the greatest voice people of our generation. You've done amazing stuff. Stamos has gone on to do incredible stuff. Bob obviously has done everything he's done. But you guys always treated Full House with the reverence that I thought the audience wanted. Nothing, I think, made people more unhappy than to hear the star of a show they loved malign it or say they didn't like it or they weren't happy. The worst thing in the world you could hear is a band say they hate the song that you love.
Yeah, that's what I always equated it to. I always thought, wow, Full House, it's kind of like being in a band and we recorded some great music that people will love forever.
That's it.
And it's like, I love those songs. I love those moments on Full House. I love the people. I love our fans. It was an incredible experience. And when you're a comedian and you're just starting out and you're in nightclubs toiling away and you're hoping to get spots at the Comedy Store and the Improv, you dream of having a full house.
Right.
And so, my dream came true, and I would never turn around and just say, oh, yeah, that was a crappy dream.
Right. No.
It was an incredible experience.
Yes. And it's funny because Bob, back to Bob again, talking about America's Funniest Home Videos, he could have been, because for a comedian, that wasn't the epitome of what you want to do. But he knew people loved it, and he really was loved by that. And people saw him as that, and they really did. And he always leaned into it instead of away from it. And you know how it is. And again, not to just punch out, but like a David Cross could never do it because he's too filled with himself, and he's just he can't appreciate it. A guy like Larry the Cable Guy, who I love dearly.
Yeah. I mean, you get once in a while you get those gifts in life, and I think you have to embrace them and see them for what they are because they don't come around that often. And when they do, you should be really thankful and happy, and I am. I mean, Full House was the most incredible gift I could have ever gotten in my lifetime.
Dude, I'm glad. You sound great, if I can tell you that. Like, I'm so glad the house is almost 100%. You're almost all done unpacking. You're just sound fantastic, and I can't wait for you to get back on the road again, man, and see you here in Kansas City.
That is so nice of you to say. I appreciate you, my friend. I think about stand-up. Adam Sandler was here in town, and he was doing his show at Little Caesars Arena. And my friend Mike Binder was on the show, and Kevin James and Rob Schneider. So I went down just to hang with those guys backstage, and I was standing there with Kevin James and Adam Sandler, and my buddy Mike Binder came up to me, and we're looking at the stage, and there's 17,000 people in the arena, and my buddy Mike goes, "You want to get up there, don't you?" And Sandler goes, "Yeah, go do 5 minutes, do 10 minutes, man. Come on, this is your hometown, Detroit. Get up there." And I go, "You guys already have enough guys on the show." So afterwards, my friend Mike Binder said, "You're going to start doing stand-up again, aren't you?" And I said, "Maybe. I don't know. Maybe."
Good. Dude, it's what you're great at. You bring people happiness, and you make people laugh, and I think that fills you with happiness, and it's a good circle, man. I don't think you should rob the people of that. I think you should give it to them as long as you feel good doing it.
And I'm going to quote Bob Saget here. Just remember that in every time you say happiness, you say penis. That joke still, I'm like, Bob said that to me, and I never forgot.
Listen, let's get you to Kansas City, man. I sure would love to see you.
You too, brother. Well, thank you so much. It's always great to catch up with you, and I just adore you as a friend, and wish you nothing but the best.
Feel the same way to you, man, and we will cross paths soon, one way or another. Dude, don't make me drive up there. I will. I'll jump on the bike. I'll show up.
Jump on the bike, man. You'll be here on the water. You will be. It's an incredible view and an incredible little place we carved out here.
I love it. All right, stay right there. I love you, brother. Thank you. The great Dave Coulier. What a guy, man. What a. Again, there's moments and things you're truly thankful for in this life. I think Dave Coulier thinks I'm okay.
He's a pretty sweet cat.
He is a sweet cat, and
smart, funny. He has it all.
And Bob Saget, that's why we still talk about him. Like, there's just people you're going to meet in your life that make you want to be a better person. And dude, Bob was absolutely one of those.